Hi, in this video, I'm going to show you how to make part number 3. So it's this part right here. The overall dimensions are going to be 80. So that's this dimension right here. And the height is 50. And then the depth is 40. Okay, so each one of these little sections here is 10. Okay, that's also 10. All right, so we've got 80 by 50 by 40. So we're going to create this in Fusion 360. So just like the last two parts that we made, I'm going to start with this L shape here. Okay, so basically what we did in block number 1. So we're getting really good at doing this. So this is my front view, and I'm going to make it a little bit different than I did before. Last time I did 2 squares. This time I'm just going to do some straight lines. And again, I'm not worried about the overall size right now. And now I've got my closed shape. You can see all the lines are blue, so I need to add some constrained dimensions to it. So I always want to dimension my overall dimensions first. Okay, so I know I want that one to be 50 because that's our height. And then this overall dimension here, we said that one was 80. And then this dimension here, I think I calculated to be 30. I'm going to double check that in a second. This one here, last time it was 20. I'll have to check that again. So I'm just going to check to see if this is 30 and 20. So I'm going to go back to my drawing, and I can see that that height is 20, and then this one is 30. All right, so now I'm going to extrude it 40. So I've got that same basic shape that we had previously. And so I'm going to use extrude. That's the only surface that I have. So I'm going to pull it out to 40 there, and I'm going to press OK. So you can see down here I have a sketch and I have an extrusion. All right, so now I'm going to need to do 4 more steps. I'm going to need to do 2 different sketches and 2 more extrusions because I've got different surfaces that I'm working on. So I am going to do this cutout right here. So I can tell that it's 1, 2, 3 deep and 2 wide, and it's 10 from the edge. So I'm going to start a new sketch. I'm going to say this is the surface I want to be working on. I'm going to zoom in, and I'm going to make myself a rectangle. And this time I'm actually doing it to the dimensions that I want. But it's still blue, and that means I can actually move it. So if I try to change this, you can see that it moves. That means it hasn't been constrained. I haven't put enough dimensions on it yet. So it's highlighted. I'm pressing 30 and I press enter. And then I also want to dimension this one here. That one's 20. You can see as I do that, everything is kind of turning black. Now these are still blue lines, which means there's something missing. So if again, I click on this here, I can still move it. Okay, so I haven't locked it in place. I haven't located it. So I need one more dimension to do that. And that's going to be this line here. Let me try this one more time. And I'm going to dimension this point to this point. There we go, and I've got 10. Okay, so as soon as I do that, they turn black, and that means that they're fully defined. All right, so I've got my second sketch here, and that's what it looks like. And so I want to cut this material away. So again, I'm going to extrude. At this point, it doesn't automatically highlight a surface because there's multiple surfaces that I could be extruding. So I want to pick the one, this one here. When I do, it turns blue. So again, I can pull this up, and if I do, it makes material, it creates material. But if I pull it down here, it cuts away. I could try to pull it all the way down to that dimension. I could type in that it's 20, or the other option I could do is I could say I want it to go all the way through everything. So as soon as I do that, it goes through all the material. I press OK, and now I've got my second cutout. All right, so the last one that we're going to do. Okay, so now we're working on this cutout right here. So I like working from this surface here. Some people will work from the top. It's really up to you, but it's going to be 20 by 20. So I'm going to do the same thing I did before. So I'm going to create a sketch. This is the surface I want to work on. And I'm going to create a box that is 20 by 20. All right, I see that I did 15 by 20, so I'm going to have to make that change. So that's supposed to be 20, so I type in 20 and enter. I need to lock it into a side so it can't move side to side. Okay, and the last thing I need to do is tell it the dimension I want it to be. All right, so now I'm done my sketch and I'm going to extrude that. So same thing as before, I click on that surface and then I'm going to show you a new one. I'm going to say I want it to go to another object. So I'm saying I want it to go to something else and it's going to cut through. I'm going to say I want it to go to this surface and so it goes all the way to that surface. And now I've got my cutout. I press OK and I'm done. All right, so you're going to save your part. I'm going to call it block 3. 3 right there. I'm going to save it to my assignment folder. I'm going to press save. All right, and now I'm going to start my last one. So I'm going to go to a new design. If you've got any questions, ask me in class. Thanks.